student, welcome to our Gyanjyoti online classes. So today we have an important chapter from our civics section, and the chapter name is what? Problem of untouchability. Okay. So here the term untouchability. Let's discuss first about the untouchability. Untouchability means it is a, you can say, it is a social evil which is practiced by the high class people towards the what? Low class people, means low caste people. Okay, lower level people who are mostly you can say involved in what? Scavenging wars. After that sweeper wars. Okay, then you can say clean the dry latrine wars. Okay, they are mainly what? The untouchable peoples, and they are always exploited by the what? The high upper caste people in our society. You can say this is a system or evil system or bad system which is going on in our society. So the untouchable people, they are also known as what? Dalit people. Got it? So in this chapter we will discuss more about that who are referred as Dalit. Okay, then what is the economic impact and the caste discrimination in the society, because in our society there is a huge difference between you can say upper class people and rich class lower class people, or you can say also the rich class people and the poor class people. Okay, it shows the economic, you can see, differences among the people, among the Indian society. Okay, then also what? Many constitutional provisions are also implemented by, you can say, our constitution. Okay, many schemes, many, you can say, programs are also organized by our government to eradicate this type of caste discrimination in our society. Okay, and also we will discuss about what the, you can say, which type of action, okay, or which type of, you can say, activity are performed by the Dalit people. Okay, and more thing about what untouchability, we will also discuss about the form of untouchability through this chapter. Okay, so let's start the chapter. That what? Dalits. Dalit means in English, you can say, the exploited people, means who are totally dominated or forcefully, you can say, pressurized by the upper caste people in Indian society. Okay, and you can say they don't have any rights. But listen, I am telling about the earlier age, you can say, story, that in earlier age the Dalit people, the untouchables, they didn't have any right to, you can say, use water from public well. Okay, they didn't have any rights to, you can say, enter to the temple or any hotels. Got it? But many provisions are, you can say, made by our constitution, implemented by our constitution for the development of this Dalit class people. Okay, so the Dalit means the exploited class people, mainly in Indian society, who are, you can see, who are always dominated by the upper caste people. Got it? Then you can see in India there is a democratic government rule over here. So the government always tried to what? Make the development, you can say, in the every field, and make the, you can say, try to mix the untouchable peoples, okay, in the main source of our, main stream of our society. Got it? So many provisions are, you can say, many provisions implemented by Indian constitution, that the constitution what? Provides various rights as fundamental rights to the what? Every Indian people. Okay, you can say, you can't discriminate, you can say, to the people on the basis of religion, caste, sex, then creed, okay, place of birth. So what? The fundamental rights are available or enjoyable for every Indian citizen, Indian society. After that, what? You can say right to equality. Okay, according to right to equality, every people are, you can say, equal before law, equal, you can say, before Indian constitution. Got it? So you can say what the untouchable people, they are also equal before law. Okay, so through this type of provisions, government constitution tried to make a what you can say well maintained society, try to make a what well regulated Indian society. Then right to equality before law, Article 14 prescribed prohibition of discrimination on religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth and status, etc. Okay. Then Article 15, equality of opportunities in public appointment without being discriminated against on religion, caste, race, etc. Okay. And what Article 16 referred as freedom of religion, worship and faith in any religion. Then Article 25 indicate freedom to construct religious places or trust and administer them. Okay. Then Article 26 what indicate freedom of paying taxes for the promotion of their religion. Article 26 and the freedom to attend or not to attend the religious instructions of other religion in educational institution, okay, are some such rights. So this type of right, okay, holding the article number what promoted equality among the Indian people. Got it? Like a person can easily, you can say, devoted to any religion, okay, or take any religion as their ways. Okay, or we can, you can say, we don't have any right to, you can say, stop a people, stop a you can say untouchable people to enter the public place, to enter the, you can say, take the water from the public well, or enter, you can say, public parks, enter to the temple, enter to the restaurant. So through this type of, you can say, equal rights, through this various kinds of rights, okay, the constitution tried to, you can say, make a equal based society, make a equal based Indian society. Okay. After that, let's discuss about what the problem of untouchability. That the practice of untouchability rooted in the Hindu caste system, stigmatized 260 million Dalits. Okay, means approximately what 260 million Dalit or scheduled caste in South Asia and mainly in India as polluted or impure by the upper caste Hindus. Okay, means approximately, you can say, 260 million Dalit. Okay. They were considered as impure, okay, in the eyes of what? In the eyes of upper caste Hindu. Got it? Then thereby the Dalits, or you can say untouchables, were segregated and treated as subhuman. Segregated means the Dalits or the untouchables, they are, you can say, treated by the separation policy by the upper caste Hindu, and also treated as what? Subhumans, means the half human being. Got it? Then they were denied social dignity, then entry into the places of religious worship and participation in religious festivals. Their assigned manual and degrading work including cleaning toilets, skinning and disposals of dead animals, digging graves and sweeping, etc. Okay. So in early period, the untouchables of the Dalits, they were, you can say, treated very extremely by the upper caste Hindu. Okay, and they were mostly involved in what? Manual work. Okay, like the cleaning toilets, skinning and disposal of dead animals, digging graves and sweeping, etc. Okay, so these are the, you can say, problems of untouchability. Okay, if a person born in a what? Dalit family, then it will, you can say, it will not easy to what? Suffer in the Indian society, because the high caste people, they are always from the what beginning era, from the past era, okay, they were the people from upper caste, they are always what pressurize the untouchable people. Okay. After that, what are the forms of untouchability? That the prohibition to draw water from public village or ponds, tanks, wells, sitting at the par with the dominant caste in public or private places, denied access to the local temples, common religious events, the bathing ghats. Okay. So in every places the untouchables, you can say, are not allowed at. Then separate vessels for serving food to the Dalit. Got it? Then you can say separate vessels means separate things where we can take food. Got it? They are also what? Separate. Then forcing them to render manual services in the birth and marriage ceremonies of the dominant caste. The scheduled caste alone to do various degrading manual jobs like skinning dead animals, physical scavenging, cleaning toilets, etc. insult and disrespect of Dalit women. Then denying scheduled caste demand for just wages and inter-caste marriages, honor killings. You can say these are the evil things which are practiced mostly by the upper caste Hindu towards the Dalits, towards the, you can say, lower class people, or you can say towards the untouchables people. Also, what? Denying scheduled caste children to avail education and no check on discrimination and ill treatment of the children in school. Okay, so these are the form, you can say, different kind of ways, different various forms, okay, by through the untouchable people, the Dalit people, they are, you can say, faced the discriminations in Indian society. Okay. Then there are some continuous challenges in front of them, in front of the Dalit people in Indian society. Okay, and their life, you can say, very suffering life they have. So there are some challenges, you can say many challenges in front of them to, you can survive in the Indian society. Okay, that from the independence, instances of untouchability have been coming down. The constitutional abolition of untouchability, okay, you can say, which are placed in Article 17, and the parliamentary law for abolishing untouchability in 1955 have shown remarkable results. However, untouchability has not totally vanished, or you can say has not totally abolished from India or Indian society. In the last several years, there have been increasing cases of attacks against the Dalits who are vocal and demanding or fighting for their rights. Yeah, is it true that whenever the Dalit people, okay, they are raised voice against the upper class people, okay, they, you can say, they demanded for their rights. Okay, they the upper class people, or you can say the people who you can say who what does not wish to what fulfill their rights, okay, they are always pressurized the Dalit class people. Okay, and for example, here is the incident of Bihar, that 65 Dalits were killed in Lakshmanpur Bath massacre on 1st December 1996 by the upper caste Ranveer Sena extremists. Okay, so in Bihar, 60 what Dalits or untouchables people were killed by what the upper caste extremist people. Okay, in Andhra Pradesh too, a Dalit woman was ill-treated on 8 September 1909 by the upper caste man when she tried to take water from a bore well at what Malasamundram village in what Anantapura districts. So in Andhra Pradesh also, you can say the Dalit woman faced difficulties, or a Dalit woman, you can say, what exploited by a upper caste man when she tried to what you can say took water from the bore well, okay, in Andhra Pradesh. In Jaipur, the upper caste people were not allowing Dalits to use what Chakwara village pond. Means the Dalit people, you can say, didn't allow to what bath in the pond in Rajasthan. So they even clashed with the police and civil administration for several days in September 2002. Similarly, numerous such cases of what atrocities against the scheduled caste are being frequently reported in the newspaper and the television. Yes, in modern day also, okay, the Dalit people, they are exploited rapidly by the what upper caste people, and we can found that type of case what in our daily newspaper, okay, that the Dalit class people are always exploited, always you can say faced challenges or difficulties by the upper class people. Okay, some of the upper class people, they are you can say they not wish to, you can say, mix the untouchable people what in the Indian society, and you can say this is a very big obstacles, okay, for the government, for the constitution to make a welfare Indian society. So this type of challenges are always faced by the Dalit class people, untouchable class or untouchables, you can say. Okay, so some of the works are here that performed by what are acted by the what you can say untouchables. The first thing is manual scavenging. Okay, so manual scavenging is a person engaged in or employed for manually carrying human what excreta or doing other sanitation work or cleaning work, you can say. There has been a practice of what carrying human excreta in basket on the head by sweepers and toilet cleaners. Okay, this practice has continued for centuries in both the urban and rural areas. Okay, the present use of flush toilet system has reduced manual scavenging, but the social what ostracization is to what pervasive that villagers openly boycott the community. Okay, manual scavenging where a person can you can say clean the human excreta. Okay, that's why the upper class people what think that it was a, you can say, it is a bad habit, it is a bad work, and the person who are perform this type of manual scavenging work, okay, he or you can say they are badly, you can say, treated by the upper class people. However, you can see it is a you can say human duty to what clean our house, to clean the environment. Okay, so and the Dalit class people, they are also human beings, and they are also, you can say, try to or help the government to make a well environment, well regulated what you can say well regulated society. Okay, but some of the upper class people, they are always denied the rights of what untouchables. Then what are the problems? Okay, the manual scavengers are faced that it is a national shame that we have practiced manual scavenging even in the 21st century. On one hand, India has become a nuclear power and prides itself on its industrialization and advancement in science and technology. On the other hand, we have fellow citizens with scheduled caste or untouchables having to carry human excreta manually as a means of livelihood. So this is a shame that technologically we are what developing, but if the thing is coming that the equal based society or equal opportunity based society, okay, then the Indian society is always, you can say, first from the backside, because in here the upper class people, or there is an inequality among the people of India, okay, due to their according to their professions, okay, but everyone is equal before law. But in social category, if you see, okay, that you can find what many discrimination among the population of India, okay. So they get low wages. Who? The untouchables, they get low wages, means very low salary, okay, and have to live in abject poverty. Since their earning is low, their children cannot get food or higher education, okay, means they are provided by very low financial, very low money. That's why what their children not able to even gain one time of food. And it is general that if the wages, if the price is low of their work, then how can their children be educated, okay. So you can say, and through the food, or what the thing is food and the education, okay, means there is no opportunity to get what quality of food as well as the education facility, okay. Then they are forced to enter the same profession of manual scavenging at a very early age, okay. And you can say in Indian society, why they are forced, because the upper class people, they were always you can say treated them as what subhuman being. That's why for their livelihood, to continue their livelihood, okay, they are forced, you can say forcefully or pressurizedly joined in this type of work. Then while visiting a village, Justice K. Punia has observed, okay, this was an incident of Justice K. Punia. While visiting a village, Justice K. Punia has observed the upper caste of the village were, you can say, practicing social boycott against the Dalit of the village right from the date 18/5/1999, okay, even till the end date of my visit, okay. This was the, you can say, words of Justice K. Punia, 26/6/1999. Thus he said, it is clear that the Dalits were subjected to semi-starvation due to the social boycott practiced by the villagers. Okay, this was the incident of the year of 1999, where Justice K. Punia visited a village, and in that village the upper class villagers, okay, they were, you can say, practiced the social boycott against the Dalits, against the untouchable people. That's why what starvations mean, they didn't have any food facility, okay, means through the incident the point is, okay, and you can say the topic is how did the people, how they were suffer from the what early age, okay. In modern period also, okay, some of the areas, some of the village, the Dalits are always treated like the what inhumans, okay. Then for the development, or you can say for the protections, you can protection of the Dalits, a National Human Rights Commission, okay, was founded. What? National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, okay. National Human Rights Commission was founded to protect the life of the, you can say, untouchables. The National Human Rights Commission considered manual scavenging to be an effort to human dignity and a major social evil. Despite launching of a national scheme for liberation and rehabilitation of scavengers and their dependents in March 1992, the Commission has noticed that implementation of this scheme is dismal except in a few states. Okay, so you can say to abolish this type of work, manual scavenging, to protect the life of what Dalit class people or untouchables, a National Human Rights Commission was founded, and you can say under the supervision of what National Human Rights Commissions, many national schemes were implemented for the liberation, for the you can say for the protection of manual scavenger, for the protection of what untouchables. Got it? So after that, many laws are formed for manual scavenging. Okay, that the Parliament of India passed the employment of manual scavengers of dry latrines. Okay, what? Employment of manual scavengers of dry latrine Prohibition Act in 1993. This act punishes employment of scavengers or construction of dry latrines with imprisonment for up to 1 year or fine up to what? 2,000, or in case both are implemented. Okay. There are several other acts related to scheduled caste and bonded labor. Got it? So let's discuss about that laws. What? They can be prosecuted under the Scheduled Caste and the Scheduled Tribe Prevention of Atrocity Act 1989. Okay? So the manual scavengers can be prosecuted under the Scheduled Caste and the Scheduled Tribes Prevention of Atrocity Act 1989. Okay? Atrocity Act. For forcibly employment and atrocity on scheduled caste. Okay, if the upper class people, they were, you can say, forced them to bonded labor, or you can say force them to what? Do any dirty work. Okay, or you can say discriminate among them, then they should be arrested by what? Atrocity Act, which was passed in 1889. Okay, we cannot what you can say exploited the ST and SC class people, mean Dalits. Okay, so employers forcing people for scavenging can also be prosecuted under the Bonded Labor System Abolition Act 1976. So many laws are formed, you can say implemented by the government to protect the life of what? The Dalit, the untouchables, and always you can say government organize many programs, many you can say schemes. Okay, to provide what? Both social equality and economic equality to the Dalit class people, to the untouchables. Okay, after that, form of social and economic inequalities. Okay, that the practice of Varna system. Varna system, where 4 class people were you can say were there in early period. What? Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. Okay, so the Brahmin class people, they are mostly involved in what? Worship work, or they are the priestly class people. After the second Varna, what? The Kshatriya. Okay, they are involved in early period, they were involved in, you can say, war affairs. After that, the business class people, they were known as the Vaishya, and what? The Sudra. Sudra means the 4th class people, or the untouchables. Okay, mainly they were what? Gave service to them, the upper 3 class people. So the practice of Varna system among the Hindus created a hierarchy of caste. The Brahmins and the Kshatriyas stood on the top of the caste hierarchy. The Vaishyas were in the middle, and the Sudras were at the lowest level. The Varna system posed on an obstacles, you can say, for the backward caste, the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. They are banned from sharing social privileges with the upper class people in status. Means economically or by socially, okay. There was a huge difference among the what people. But in modern period also, by economically or in the eyes of socially, okay, there is a huge differences among the people. Okay, then they were also banned from what took education, occupation, income and power, untouchability and denied of dignity to the Dalit scheduled caste were a cause of concern for many other classes too. Okay, so some social reformers like what M.G. Ranade, Jyotiba Phule, what B.R. Ambedkar, our father of Indian Constitution, and our father of nation Mahatma Gandhi, then Raja Ram Mohan Roy, okay, then Dayanand Saraswati, Swami Vivekanand, okay, these you can say these were the reformer. They gave much more efforts to what, to deny this type of untouchables, this type of, you can say, social evil in the caste system. They always give, you can say, support to the lower class people, Dalit class people. They always fight against, you can say, the social evil which you can say which are practiced in our society. Okay. After that, abolition of untouchability means how, you can say, through which ways, okay, the untouchability, you can say, the word untouchability is abolished from our society. Okay, to abolish the word untouchability or the you can say the social evil, the law is formed that Article 70 of the Constitution abolished untouchability. What? Article 70. Article 17 of Indian Constitution what? Abolished untouchability and declared that its practice in any form is forbidden. The enforcement of any disability arising out of untouchability shall be an offence punishable in accordance with law. Okay. To stop the practice of untouchability, the Parliament passed the Untouchability or Offences Act 1955. It provides punishment for the practitioner of untouchability or to anybody who refuses admission to the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribe to places of worship, restaurants, hotels, hospitals and public wells. Okay, so you can say a law, you can say an act was passed in 1955. Okay, the untouchability or abolition of untouchability means you can say if a person, okay, found that he or she didn't allow any untouchables to the public places, to the hospitals, to you can say public wells, public parks, then you can say temples, then he or she will be punished by the government. Then the students should not what Banmali Das versus Panku Bhandari case which came up immediately after the passing of this act. Okay, Panku Bhandari, a barber, refused to cut the hair of Banmali and other people as his community because they were cobblers, or you can say Dalits. Banmali lost a complaint against what Panku Bhandari. The Calcutta High Court gave the judgment in favor of Banmali and the High Court judge accorded a punishment to what? Panku Bhandari. So this was the example that a person what you can say refused to what? Cut the hair of a Dalit people. Okay, then the Dalit people you can say gave a petition, gave a case against the what? Panku Bhandari, and the High Court you can say supported the statement of what supported the cobbler and give punishment to the Panku Bhandari. Okay, so this was all about what the chapter problem of untouchability. And the untouchability, what from the past is it was a social evil, it was a headache for you can say Dalit people as well as for government, and many provisions are formed, many laws are implemented by the government, okay, to make a equal based society. Okay, you can say in modern period also in some areas, in some places, the Dalit class people suffer a lot. So you can say that the Indian society is in progressing way. Okay, now we are educated. Okay, now the education facilities are provided by the government to every citizens. So what, gain the knowledge, okay, and treated the Dalit people as a human being. Got it? Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.